50 stars. My name is Monse, and I am only a 6th grader, but I wanted to tell the 8th graders that if I could get on the mic and speak to 200 people, so can they. You all look amazing tonight. You look like true Hollywood stars. Good job, everyone. Now Sierra Richards has a few words to share.
Thank you all for joining us as we celebrate the dedication, hard work, effort, and time that the AVID 50 stars have put into these past years. It's incredible how much the students who you see before you have improved in such little time. So please sit tight and enjoy the night. And now, I would like to introduce you guys to the man who many thought could not succeed. The man who defied the odds, who broke barriers, and who was not only the teacher at Canyon Hills, but is the teacher of the year for EPISD district. Mr. Ricky Ramirez, or as his students call him, Mr. R.
What's up, AVID fam?
What's up, Mr. R?
What's up, parents?
What's up, Mr. R?
Not bad. I do want to thank everyone for coming out today. I'm going to try to get through this. That video, man. I'm trying to get through this as quickly and as smoothly as possible, but it's just such a beautiful sight. Tutors, thank you. Students, thank you guys. So, can you guys please help me welcome our keynote speaker, Miss Patty Diaz. Hallelujah too.
He said good luck. I don't know what I could add to having such an inspiring teacher like Mr. R. And all of the students who are being honored today. I believe this last year you were nominated for Teacher of the Year. And if you follow Mr. R on social media, he's always posting a lot of positive, inspirational speeches. And I don't know how somebody shared it, and I came across it. We actually utilized one of his motto. I'm the guy.
Why I teach.
Or why I teach. There you go. Why I teach. We actually played that on the first day of school on 102. Just as a tribute to the teachers, really, who are going back. So thank you for inspiring us, Mr. R. Appreciate it. So I'll just tell you a little bit about myself, and I really want to speak to the students here more so. I was born and raised here in El Paso. I graduated from Clinton High School. Mr. R may feel really, really old saying that he listened to me since he was a kid, so I'm not going to tell you what year. But growing up in Clinton, there were 6 kids. We didn't have running water. We had the big gallon, like the 5-gallon jugs. We had to go down to the lumber yard and fill up the water bottles, and if we were going to take a bath, we had to heat the water up on the stove, put it in a bucket, and that's how we took a bath when I was in school. And it's hard to talk about now because growing up poor, you're not the popular kid, right? And with 6 kids, and my dad the only one working, we had propane tanks. We didn't have natural gas. So if the propane ran out and it was the middle of winter, well, guess what? Yeah, you just get as many blankets as you can, sleep with your clothes on, and that's what you do. I remember one night my dad had made chicken for dinner. And because you could go down to the store and you could buy like a 10-pound bag for like $5. And it was the last thing in the fridge and it was already going bad. And we're eating it, and I made the comment like, ugh, this tastes gross. And I was about your age. I was 7th, 8th grade. And my brother, one of my older brothers, looks at me. He's like, "You're so ungrateful." Because Dad tried to put something on the table. And that was the last time I ever complained. So all of you kids that are here today, dressed up, looking great, participating in an AVID, getting ready to go to high school, go to college, you need to give your parents a big round of applause and be grateful. It was right around junior high that I was told, you can't do that. I hate the word can't. And I don't use the word hate a lot, and I don't use the word can't. If you've ever been told, you can't do that, raise your hand. Don't be shy, because I know a lot of people have been told, you can't do that. You can't go to college. I was told that. So it was junior high when my entire life I've been told, you can't do that. I was going into 7th grade. That's when you can try out for cheerleading. I said, I want to be a cheerleader. They said, you can't do that. You're too fat. So I tried out for cheerleading, and I made it. Then, but in high school, I was in band. I was a band geek. I played clarinet. And I was still involved in music, so go figure. But I wanted to be drum major. And I was told, you can't do that. Nobody respects you enough to be drum major. So I tried out, and I made it. So, by the time I was a senior, I got senioritis really bad. So this one time at band camp, I made a really bad decision. And only the parents will get that reference. But we went on a band trip, and I made a poor decision. It was the last 2 weeks of my senior year of school. And I was sent to SAC. I was sent to alternative school. My last 2 weeks of my senior year, never been in trouble. And so I got home, and my mom was so disappointed in me, and she goes, great, now you can't go to college. And that coming from your own parent, I was like, oh my gosh. So it was my mom's birthday, March 25th. And I got my acceptance letter to Our Lady of the Lake University in San Antonio. So I went to college. Don't clap too long because it didn't last. I wasn't ready. I love El Paso, and I just wasn't ready to be on my own. So I came back home, and I got into radio. And my mom told me, you can't do radio. That's not a real job. And the opportunity came up a couple of times, and I was passed over. And I finally was offered the position. You can be the manager. You can be the program director for Power 102. And so I had to go into a meeting with all the other people in the building. And they said, great, what are you going to do about the morning show? I've been on the morning show for like 20 years or something like that. I know. Trust me, I know. So I'm sitting in this meeting. I'm really excited because I'm the manager now. And I had another woman sitting across from me. And she said, what are you going to do about the morning show? Who's going to host the morning show? I said, well, I am. Myself and my team. And she said, but you can't. You're a girl. And this was coming from another woman. She's no longer there. But I'm still hosting the morning show, and I'm still the manager. So if there's one thing that I can stress, especially to young ladies, because I know I saw you all crowded over here, don't let anybody tell you no. And if somebody says you can't, take it as a personal challenge and prove them wrong. Say, oh yeah, watch me. Watch me. So congratulations. Congratulations. Can't wait to see what you guys are going to do next. And thank you for having me, Mr. Arnold.
So, before I pass it on to our student presenters, I'm not going to give a keynote. I'm just going to share really quick why I invest so much into your kids. In 2015, 16, when they were 6th graders, I went on an off off-roading trip with one of my friends, and I crashed. And I totaled my truck. And the only thing keeping us from going over a ditch was a pole. And it was a big wake-up call for me. And I always loved working, but I always loved to clock in and go home and live my life. And I thought that day, what if that pole wasn't there? And when you see your best friend bleeding, and when you're thrown to the passenger seat, you start to think about what really matters. And some people say that, don't you have a life, Mr. R? And I do. And they're my life. And that's a beautiful life. And I thank you, parents, for letting me teach them for 3 years. I know you heard a lot of crazy stories, but I promise you, we did a lot of learning in there. And to the students, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for saving my life. So we're going to pass it on to our student presenters now. And we're going to start with, who was first? With Michelle Pettis, third-year AVID student.
I'm going to be honest with you, I don't like the sound of my alarm clock ringing at 6:35 in the morning to wake up for school. So I press snooze, then go back to bed for a little while until the next alarm goes off at 6:40 a.m. I'm always anxiously waiting for the bell to ring at 11:07 so I can walk into the classroom that really feels like home. Welcome to room 307, AVID, the class that I got told that would help me prepare for college. AVID, the class that helped me grow stronger as an individual. AVID, the class that helped me be, the class that I got told we would have fun Fridays in. Y'all know we love those days. AVID, the class that changed me for the better. I'm Michelle Perez, a third-year AVID student, and this is how my AVID journey began. Still to this day, I remember when we got called up to the cafeteria at Eden Park Elementary School so we could watch a presentation. As we walked in, I remember seeing a couple of girls standing by a little cart with a projector on it. The words on the wall read AVID, AVID, or at least that's what I thought it said. I'm going to be honest with you, I really don't remember anything about that presentation, but what I do remember is this: you get fun Fridays. So I joined hoping that it would be a fun experience. So here's to the first day of middle school, the first time I ever got to personally meet Mr. R, our AVID teacher. I'm not going to lie, I was pretty scared of him. So, because he's so big and loud and intimidating. So I told myself, you better stay on his good side because who knows what will happen. I was getting so many new words thrown at me at once, I couldn't handle it. College readiness, Cornell notes, TRS, tutorials, a GPA, what could all this possibly mean? I never actually started to think about college because I was barely in 6th grade. But I have good news. I survived the first year of middle school. Woohoo! And signed up for this AVID class again. This time around, I got a better understanding of what everything meant. So guess who enrolled for the class to take it her 8th grade year? I did. This time, it meant more to me than just being in a class. It meant that I got to be part of the AVID family because every single time we walked into the classroom, Mr. R has made it feel like a home to everybody. Cornell notes that were started by a college professor, tutorials and TRS showed me that I had to get along with others and that there will always be multiple ways to solve a problem. And of course, finding a grade point average, also known as a GPA, isn't as hard as it seems. Little did I know that these were baby steps to help prepare us for college. People always kind of ask me, what can an elective teach you that a regular class couldn't? Well, here's what AVID taught me. AVID taught me that the friends that I hang out with today will influence me on how I will act in the future. And by judging by the people you see here today, I have a great future ahead of me. AVID taught me that it's okay to make mistakes as long as you're able to build back up from them. AVID taught me that there is no need to be shy, and it's okay to step out of your comfort zone once in a while. AVID taught me the importance of time management, and AVID taught me to be me and no one else, because in the end, everything will depend on the choices I make today. I just want to say thank you to the tutors for always going that extra mile to help us grow academically. Thank you, Mr. T, for helping with my algebra, because let's just say I'm not good with the numbers and alphabet mixed together. Well, actually, I'm not good with the alphabet at all. Thank you, Ms. Delgado, for taking the time to answer all my questions and rereading everything I wrote. Thank you, Ms. Y, for being so nice to us and staying calm whenever we could be a handful. I wish you could have stayed with us the rest of the year, but you got your dream job on becoming a teacher, and you showed us that it could be done, and if we worked hard enough, we could do it. And finally, I would especially like to say thank you to a man that I've never seen more determined to achieve a goal in his life. Someone who's always willing to go that extra mile just to make sure his students are doing well. Even when he had a million reasons to quit or give up on us, he did it. Why? Because over the past 3 years, we've all grown into this one big family. He said it before, and I'll say it again. He's the big bear, and we're his kids. This is Mr. Ramirez, or as the students call him, Mr. R. This is the teacher that will always be there for you whenever you need to talk. This is the teacher that knows when something is wrong because of how well he gets to know his students. He is the only reason why I don't want to leave middle school, and just because of the impact he has made on me. This is the teacher I always dreamed of having, and now I got it and couldn't ask for anything else. Thank you all you've done for us, Mr. R. On the other hand, I will be attending Chapin High School. Then I plan to study in the Department of Education to become an elementary teacher by either attending the University of Arizona, University of Oregon, or University of Texas South Austin. Even though I have a little bit more time to think, with plenty of options, these are my future goals for now, which I will one day accomplish. And this is all to the things of AVID, where we have a proven achievement that is a lifelong advantage.
Wow. Parents, I told you we do learn in our class. Michelle, thank you so much for those words. Outstanding job. These kids put these speeches together, and they had to give their speeches during class time. And that was only about 30 people max. And the growth that Michelle has shown from speaking to 30 to now over 200, outstanding. Maybe you can teach me how to speak next time. Good job, Michelle. Thank you. Our next speaker is also a third-year AVID student. I've had Christopher Bonds for 3 years, and he's not loud. But when he gave his speech this year, he blew everyone out of the water. And I asked him, where have you been for 3 whole years? He just has a very powerful speech and a great message to share. So can we please welcome Christopher Bonds to the class.
It was Robert Meehan who once said, "It's the little conversations that build the relationships and make an impact on each student." If teachers engage with each scholar in their classroom, just like what Mr. R has been doing the past 3 years of my AVID adventure, I believe dozing off in classes won't be a problem anymore. I'm positive that the majority of the AVID 50 stars have closed their eyes for what they thought was a quick 30 seconds, but later found out it was actually 30 minutes. Now, there can be 2 reasonable explanations for this problem. Either you did not get a good night's sleep, or it was because you lost interest in your teacher. Well, we all know that dozing off in AVID isn't a problem for any one of us. My name is Christopher Bonds, and I'm proud to say that I am a part of the AVID family. If you ask me what I'll miss the most about middle school, I would definitely tell you the school uniforms. I mean, who wouldn't want to wear a maroon polo shirt with some khaki pants to school every day? Just plain. I would simply tell you AVID, not just the elective AVID, but the spectacular individuals inside room 307 who are seated with you all today. To begin with, everyone has a story that belongs to them. Either it's emotional, horrific, or ecstatic. Sometimes, if you're really lucky enough, your story is all 3 like mine. I had to overcome not having a father figure in my life. Even though I still have a relationship with my dad, I felt like he was never around since he was always in and out the door. When he was there, we didn't have the best experience, which really affected our perspective on the way we viewed my dad as a person. This eventually led to us just being a family of three. My strong, beautiful mother, Ama, levante su mano por favor. And sister plus me. I also had to learn that I'm not always going to get the things I want or even the things I need, since I come from a low-income family. Now I understand and realize how blessed I am to have everything that I am able to have. Self-confidence. A couple of months ago, I was not confident at all. For instance, my second year in AVID, I was not confident while giving my 7th grade AVID speech. During that speech, I started to get really anxious to the point where I just started to cry. Most people might have thought I was crying because of my speech, but I wasn't. I just had to let all the pressure out. I know a lot of you guys can relate. Being an AVID, I've gained so much self-confidence. It might not look like it since I'm not that one outgoing person who's always crazy and doesn't care about what others think most of the time, but trust me, I have. As a student, I have always had a positive mindset on my education. My mom has always motivated my sister and I to do our best with our education. The reason being is so that we can have the career of our choice and won't have to be struggling. AVID has changed my mindset by allowing me to have a brighter outlook. I realize how important my education is for my future and what steps I need to take to follow the correct pathway. Thanks to all this motivation, I have been striving hard since the 7th grade, receiving A honor roll on every report card ever since. With all my hard work, I've been accepted to Trans Mountain Early College, where I'll be spending the next 4 years of my education. As you all know, every child has a dream of becoming whatever they wish to be in the future. I'm pretty sure we've all heard it before. When I grow up, I want to be a doctor. Or, when I grow up, I want to be a teacher. When I grow up, I want to finish getting my education obtaining a 4.0. I will also enroll into a university of my choice and later become an interior designer and a successful entrepreneur or have a career in the health science field. I want to finish this speech off with a few thank you shoutouts. I want to thank my mom, a high school dropout who had the desire to go back to school and get her diploma, Even though she is disabled, which limits her ability to do a few things, it still does not stop her from loving and motivating her kids. I want to thank my sister, a high school dropout. Wait, did I say high school dropout? Sorry, Helen, I just had to. I met a top 10% high school graduate who took the risk to enter the National Guard, which didn't work out for her, but that's not stopping her. I also want to thank the rest of my family, like my grandparents, who are always willing to help. Next, I'd like to thank my fellow AVID peers, who are strong-minded and warm-hearted scholars with bright futures ahead. Of course, I'd also like to thank all the parents and guardians who are also strong-minded individuals that raise such intelligent children that I see today. Then I want to thank my fellow AVID tutors, some astonishing individuals that have been there with and throughout. That have been there with and for us throughout our AVID years. Lastly, it's my pleasure to thank Mr. R, a diligent, dedicated teacher that has done so much for us and deserves so much back. Thank you all for letting me share my AVID speech.
Christopher Bonch, thank you so much. Outstanding job. And next up, another third-year AVID student who, she can do it all. And I'll let her explain for herself. Sierra Richards.
My name is Sierra Richards, and I was born into a small family of just 11 children. Yes, you heard right. 11 children. Just enough to make 2 starting basketball teams. I was lucky enough to be born the middle child. If you didn't already guess it, that was sarcasm. As we all know, being born the middle child is really tough. From feeling undervalued to being the designated mediator in family feuds. I mean, try being in our shoes for a day and see how it feels. And for the record, those are hand-me-down shoes. However, for me, I was always putting my brothers and sisters' needs over mine. Rain, make your brother something to eat. Rain, help your brother with his homework. Rain, do the dishes, clean the bathroom, take out the trash. Basically, by the age of 14, I'm also a full-time nanny, and I don't even get a paycheck. Just kidding, that was a joke. I worked hard in school, always got straight A's, and did everything that a normal person would consider above average. And I still didn't feel like I was good enough. On top of that, my parents had just recently gone through a divorce, which really took a toll on me and my brothers. At this point in my life, I felt lost and hopeless, like I didn't have anyone to go to for all that I was going through. That wasn't until I decided to join AVID in the 6th grade. I don't think I have ever made a better choice than I did to join AVID. Being in AVID these past 3 years has been a, I guess you could say, outrageous and exhilarating roller coaster ride, but the best experience of my life. AVID has shown me that everybody has their struggles, some bigger than others, so that you don't have to suffer alone. That those struggles and mistakes that you make in life are what lead you to a better future and a better path. Specifically, the AVID class of 2018-2019 has shown me that nobody cares if you can't dance, sing, play sport well, or if you don't do too good in school. What really matters is how much effort, passion, and time you give into the thing that you love the most. This AVID class has been through so much together. We've been there for each other at our highest and our lowest, through the achievements and overjoyous events, but also for the heartache and the pain. If there is one thing that I'm going to miss about Canyon Hills, it is this AVID class. I'm going to miss seeing AVID students rushing to finish their tear-ups during lunch. I mean homework, Mr. R. We did it for homework, I promise. Hearing all the promise for students as Mr. R says, create a C-notes page on a lined piece of paper. But most of all, I'm going to miss my second family. People who had my back and were there for me when I looked over my shoulder and no one was. Because of AVID, I know and believe that I will achieve greatness in the years forth to come. Standing here today, you see a confident young woman who knows that she is going to Stanford University for medical school so she can pursue a career as a cardiothoracic surgeon. A young woman who will make millions because she worked hard for it and not because it was handed to her. Someone who now believes in herself and has the base to start a new path. And I know these are pretty high standards, but believe me, I will achieve them. And you may wonder who I have to thank for the person I've become today. Well, number one, my inspiring, encouraging, and strong-willed mother, who has never stopped supporting me, even though she's been through a lot of harsh experiences herself. Karim El-Shabagi. What a handful of a name, am I right? Karim, the boy who has never stopped believing in me. My best friend since 1st grade, and the boy who I look up to, literally. Seriously, that boy's like 6 feet tall in my eyes. My beautiful and wise grandmother, or as I call her, Nanny, one of the only people I can go to for advice and who I can cry to whenever I'm feeling down. However, there is one group of people who have changed my life since I walked into the room 307, my AVID fam. As Maya Angelou said, people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. AVID fam and Mr. R especially, the man who never thought twice about helping us, the man who constantly put our needs and feelings before his own, the man who I know for sure will make history in the years forth to come, but the teacher who always went the extra mile for us. I will never forget how you made me feel or how you constantly dug me out of the dark place that I always felt I was in. I, Sierra Richards, thank you from the bottom of my heart. We did it. We broke the barriers that were put forth in front of us, and we defied the standards that were put forth for CHMS. Thank you for the most amazing experience of my life. I see each and every one of you becoming something better than great. Don't ever let anybody tell you different. Life is tough, and at points it can make you feel as though you're not enough. However, there's one thing you must always remember. Life is 10% of what happens to you, and 90% of how you react to it. Don't let life defeat you. Make it your own. Thank you.
I told you she can do it all. We'll work on her mic next week. Outstanding, sir. Thank you so much. And our last speaker is a student who I met for the first time this year, and this student is so smart that I constantly ask myself, what can I really teach her? After hearing her speech, I realized that I had made an impact, even the smallest one, and my job was done after that. Elisa Gutierrez, come on now.
You got this, Elisa.
I have a question for you. Why do you do what you do? I do what I do for a lot of reasons. I do what I do for the best friends I had who didn't have the best families. I do what I do for the friends who didn't have much but gave all they had. I do what I do for little Elisa Gutierrez in 6th grade who didn't think she had a voice. Little Elisa Gutierrez who had 2 friends. I do what I do for the good in those people. I do what I do because my best friends had hard lives and good hearts. I do what I do because the friends who had nothing will give everything they have for their families. Being an 8th grader is pretty hard. You get students who pass math with 70.1s and 70.2s because they're helping watch their siblings at night. You get students who always fall asleep in first period because they're getting their siblings awake and ready in the morning, and we all know how hard that is. But after AVID, you get different kinds of students. You get students who know they'll have to get a scholarship to go to college and work harder for it rather than giving up. You get students who want to make the kind of impact their AVID teacher made on them. I want to be a politician when I get older, and there's nothing better that I can think of than to fight for the people I grew up with and their future families. I've only been in AVID for a year, but I feel like I've seen my classmates grow up. AVID has made us see what we can do, regardless of what we were born into. I lost all hope before I started 8th grade and entered AVID. My home life wasn't great, and as most 8th graders would say if you ask them, I had like 2 friends. I thought I was going through life alone, as if no one understood me. It wasn't until the AVID parade at Urban High School that I realized everything was going to be okay. I found my best friends, I've had a 4.0 for most of the year, and I know I want to be a politician because I found my way. I found my inspiration because of Mr. R, who knew what it was like to not be okay. Mr. R taught me to be who I was, to be little old me, no matter what anyone else said I should be like. Mr. R gave me the confidence to speak in front of a lot of people like I am right now, when he told us how even he got a little nervous during speeches sometimes. I am who I am because of AVID, and I am who I am because of the people you see before you. The fun Fridays, inspirational stories and speeches, and tutorials will follow me forever. They made my 8th grade year memorable, and I don't know what I'll do without them. I'm proud of the future makeup artists, the future electrical engineers, and the future nurses and doctors. I'm proud of the future accountants, the future teachers, and the future travel agents. I'll be pretty proud of myself if I can be one of the first female presidents. Granted, my generation doesn't go crazy and vote Cardi B or Nicki Minaj first. If I can make the lives of my fellow classmates different as Mr. R and the AVID program have, I'll be set for life. Thank you, class of 2018-2019, for showing me that everyone has a place to be who they are. Thank you, Mr. R, for showing me that there will always be people who shoot you down and criticize you, but you'll always have someone rooting for you in the background. Those are the people that matter the most. Thank you.
So for the last 3 years, my son has been in AVID. During 6th grade, I didn't know what AVID was until he came and he explained to me. And I've been able to witness what AVID has done for these children. He has empowered them, influenced them, mentored them. And you know, it's hard to not thank a man like yourself for being there for each and every one of these 50 students. You have gone above and beyond for these kids, and everybody appreciates it. You have been their shoulder to lean on when they are having a hard day. You are there to teach them, to not give up on their dreams, to continue, to go to college, to grow the best that they can be. And nonetheless, they put together a little thank you from all 50 of them. We got you a plaque just to show you of appreciation. A little box with their hearts to show you how much that they love you. And we got a basket of fruit because we know how much you are offended because you're healthy, you know. But from all 50 students to all parents here, I want to say thank you. Thank you for going above and beyond and being that teacher that is not only a teacher but a mentor.
So thank you very much.